Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. I know it's been a little bit of a minute since I've posted, but you know, with the move to LA and everything, it's been a little bit hectic. Now I'm really excited to get back into YouTube. I'm planning on posting videos every single week, so don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, and let me know if there's any videos in specific that you want to see. And yeah, I'm just really excited to get back into it. But anyways, the point of today's video is that I'm going to be doing a part 2 to my gut health journey and bloating tips, because it's been highly requested that people have wanted to see more tips that I have for bloating, and I have a ton. I literally have just like a wealth of knowledge of gut health from my own issues over the years. And yeah, I'm excited to share more of it with you guys. So don't mind me sitting on my floor of my room right now. I still have so much more to get for this room, but it's gonna be good. All right, let's just dive right into it. Okay, first and foremost, something that I feel like I didn't emphasize enough in my previous video, which by the way, if you haven't watched my part 1 yet, go check it out. It just has like 10 really good bloating tips, and then come back to this video. But anyways, I feel like I didn't emphasize enough in my last video was intuitive eating, and how much intuitive eating itself has helped me and my bloating. And what I mean by that, and what I mean by intuitive eating, if you don't know, intuitive eating is following your body's hunger cues and cravings, and eating what your body wants when it wants, stopping when you're full, etc., and not counting calories, not restricting all these things. Because when you start intuitive eating, you really start to get in tune with your body, and you start to see like, okay, what does my body like? What doesn't it like? I should stop eating because I'm really full. My body's telling me that I'm full. Things like that. And I just want to stress that switching from a very restrictive calorie counting, etc. mindset to then following intuitive eating really has helped my gut health and my bloating a lot, just from learning more about my body and what foods it likes and how much of a portion will get me full, etc. Just getting really in tune with myself and in the moment of eating and what my body likes and doesn't like. With that said, if you do need help with intuitive eating, I actually have an intuitive eating journal, which is really great and has journal prompts and affirmations to help switch your mindset to intuitive eating, help you figure out which foods feel good, which foods don't, get more in tune in the moment of eating, and you know, help with those hunger cues basically. So if you're interested in that, I'm gonna link it and put the link to that below. But yeah, intuitive eating in general, it can just help your gut health so much more, just because you're learning more about your body. Okay, I also got a lot of questions, so this is number 2 for this video, around what supplements and things that I recommend, because I did mention probiotics and, you know, certain foods and supplements that could help your gut health. So let me just dive right into that real quick. First and foremost, probiotics. I really like the brand Mega Food and BioK Plus. So BioK Plus was one, they have like drinkable probiotics, like liquids, and I used to do that or take it like a few years ago. Lately, I've been into a Mega Food, and I think that probiotics aren't necessary. They can help. I don't think there's something you have to take every day, and different probiotics brands can make you feel differently. Like there's different strains in each of them, so you might react better to one versus another, or switching up the brands themselves can help. So that's my favorite probiotic brands that I've used. I don't take probiotics every day. I only do when I feel like I kind of need some extra gut support. Also, for probiotics, you don't necessarily need to always buy a capsule. You can get really rich probiotic foods from fermented foods such as kimchi, sauerkraut, sourdough bread is fermented, things like coconut yogurt, Greek yogurt, like all of these things have probiotics in them, which are really good for your gut health. So you don't always need to be buying a capsule. Other supplements, because I did get a lot of questions about supplements, I do have to say that there really is no one pill that's gonna like fix everything. So just in general, when it comes to supplements, don't believe that like you take this one thing and then your gut's gonna be like magically better. But there are a few things that could help, and I mentioned them quickly in my last video, but I'll do that again. Peppermint. Peppermint especially is something that can help with IBS because it helps cool down the digestive system and help against inflammation itself. So any sort of like peppermint capsule, peppermint tea can really help. I personally love dandelion tea. I just find drinking that like at the end of the night after dinner always helps me wake up less bloated, get rid of water retention. Ginger is so soothing for the stomach. Like making homemade ginger tea, anything related to ginger is so good for your gut health. Also, I wanted to mention was something around digestive bitters. So if you don't know what digestive bitters are, I took them for a little bit. I don't really take them anymore, but they can help because there's something that you can like spray. Organic Olivia has a really good one that I used to use, or I don't know, it can come in a few different forms, but what it does is that it stimulates the digestive enzymes to get produced in your stomach before you eat. So like by putting a spray of bitters, the saliva in your mouth will like signal to your stomach that you're gonna eat. So it's gonna produce digestive bitters, digestive enzymes will help you digest your food and your meal better. So they're good to take before you eat. Okay, number 3, moving on beyond supplements, I want to talk about movement because I realized that was something that I left out in my last video. And movement is so important and can help with de-bloating so much to a certain extent. So I want to mention this real quick because when I used to work out so much, I mean like hitting Orange Theory every day, like doing all this high intensity workouts, etc., I actually was more bloated and more inflamed, and my body was like literally inflamed. So I want to mention and bring up the fact that like too much movement can actually make you more bloated and literally make your body more inflamed. So when it comes to movement can be really good, especially if you suffer from constipation, like going for a walk first thing in the morning, light movement, weightlifting, Pilates, yoga, etc. can really help with your gut health and just being more regular in the bathroom or any other digestive issues. But also just be careful not to take it too far because that can actually cause the opposite effect. I will say though, whenever I'm feeling super bloated, I'll literally just go for like a 10-minute walk and I swear there's like immediate relief already afterwards. So don't underestimate the power of walking. Okay, number 4 tip for you guys. I want to share this one, but I do want to mention to not be like so scared about it. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but something to consider if you are eating a lot of processed foods. Even if they're like healthier processed foods, a lot of these foods can contain gums. So like xanthan gum or carrageenan or all these other gums and like artificial things that that stabilize the product itself can actually cause bloating and gut issues because they're really hard to digest in the body. So even things like almond milk and these healthier processed things can have gums, and if you are eating a lot of processed foods like that, it can have an effect on you. Not to say I don't eat anything with gums. Like yes, I'll have, you know, the almond milk that has the gums in it or something like that every once in a while. I just kind of, as a general rule of thumb in the back of my head, don't eat that much processed food, so I'm not eating that much gums, but it's something to look out for if you are. Okay, that brings me to my next point around artificial sugars. And I know I mentioned this in my last video, but I was getting a lot of questions around natural artificial sugars. What about those? Are those okay? Blah, blah, blah. In my humble opinion, if you really suffer from bloating, I would stay away from even the natural artificial sugars like stevia, monk fruit, etc. For me personally, I don't use them. I stay away from them. I try to do more of the natural sugars like coconut sugar, honey, maple syrup. I still don't believe that the other ones would make my stomach feel great, so I even stay away from the natural ones. But if they don't bother you, then hey, more power to you, I guess. Okay, another tip I want to bring up, I forgot what number this is, maybe 6 or 7, is the fact that if you are suffering from really severe bloating, and even if you're not, but definitely if you are, there might be a root cause, something going on to it. And I think this isn't talked about enough in Western medicine, but I urge you to look into the root cause behind it. And what I mean by that is that there might be something else going on in your stomach that can be out of your control, like a bacterial infection or SIBO or other things in your gut that aren't supposed to be there, or the ratio of the gut bacteria is off. I don't know, these things that could be there and that you might not know about until you go see a doctor. And so if you can go see a functional medicine doctor, that's what I would recommend. But if not, talk to your regular doctor. Sorry, I got cut off in the end there. But what I was saying is that you might want to look into doing some different tests, and you can talk to your doctor about it, to do different stool tests or breath tests for SIBO, or things that could be causing the underlying root cause of your bloating and your gut health issues. So I just urge you to do your own research. Always, always, always do your own research. I think that's the best thing that anyone can do, is just informing themselves and having the information, and then talking to a doctor if you can. I always recommend a naturopath or functional medicine doctor when it comes to gut health issues, because that's what helped me more when I saw one versus my regular doctor. Okay, lastly, I have one last tip for you guys, and this seems so simple, but it can really be so helpful. And it's just around deep breathing, and breathing before meals, during meals, after meals, your whole day, going to yoga, meditating, doing these things that seem so small and minuscule, but really it helps the body so much. Meditating, going to yoga, doing deep breathing, like getting your body in a place of relaxation and not inflammation and not stressed. And I can't even like literally begin to tell you how much like just going to yoga a few times a week has helped with my bloating. And I know it seems weird, it's like the connection between yoga and bloating, but it's really big, and it just goes more in tune with the breath work and doing breath work and getting your body in a place of relaxation and not stress. So you can hear my roommate's cat meowing now, which is really funny. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope these tips helped you. Comment if there's any that you're excited to try, or if there's any tips that I've given you in general that's helped a lot. I really am curious to hear from you guys. And yeah, I'm excited to be back on the YouTube grind, so keep an eye out for that. Sending love.